Alex woke up early that morning, nervous but excited. Today was the day of his big job interview, the one he had been preparing for over the past few months. He had reviewed common questions, rehearsed his pitch in front of the mirror, and even printed his resume on special paper. It wasn't just a job, it was his way out. A chance to finally prove himself. As he looked in the mirror and adjusted his tie, he smiled and whispered to himself, "This is it." He left home early to make sure he'd arrive with time to spare. The sky was gray, the streets were still quiet. Everything was on track. He reached the bus stop right on schedule and climbed aboard, finding a seat by the window. He watched the city come alive around him. His mind raced with thoughts of the future, what he'd say, how he'd shake hands, how different life would be after today. But then, just a few blocks from his destination, the bus jerked. It coughed once, then again, and came to a complete stop. The driver stood up and said calmly, "Sorry folks, we're experiencing engine trouble. This bus is out of service." People groaned. Alex froze. He couldn't afford this. He jumped off the bus and immediately tried to order a rideshare, nothing available. He started walking, then jogging, then running. He waved for taxis, but they were all full. Every second that passed felt like a door closing. By the time he arrived, sweaty, out of breath, and drenched from a sudden drizzle, the receptionist looked up and said, "You're too late. The interviews are over." That was it. No second chance. No waiting room. Just rejection, plain and cold. Alex stepped outside, slumped onto a nearby bench, and let the rain fall on his shoulders. He felt defeated. All that effort, all that hope. Wasted. Looking for shelter, he spotted a small coffee shop across the street and walked in. Not for the coffee, he just needed a place to sit. He ordered the cheapest item on the menu and sat quietly in the corner, staring at the cup in his hands, his mind racing with what-ifs and why-nots. That's when he heard a voice. "Rough morning," an older man said from the next table over. Alex gave a polite smile and nodded. They started talking. Small things at first, about the rain, the broken bus, the missed interview. Then the conversation deepened. They talked about careers, failure, and timing. The older man listened carefully, then leaned in and said, "I actually run a small startup. We're looking for someone who's hungry, someone who thinks differently." You might be. Was this real? The man handed him a card with a company name and email address. "Reach out," he said. "Let's talk again, when you're dry and ready." That chance meeting led to a follow-up. That follow-up led to an offer. That offer turned into a partnership. And that partnership became the beginning of a brand new path. Alex didn't get the job he thought he wanted that day. He got something better, a purpose. A calling. A life that felt aligned with who he truly was. All because he missed a bus. All because life said, "Not this way. This way." So the next time something doesn't go your way, when the timing feels off or the door slams shut, don't panic. Pause. Breathe. Sometimes, what feels like failure is simply life steering you towards something more powerful than you imagined. Trust the detour. It might just change your life. Because here's the truth, rejection is not always a setback. Sometimes, it's a redirection to something bigger, something more meaningful. When you're forced off the path you planned, you might just land on the path you were born to walk. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs this reminder. And if you've ever felt like life detoured you, tell us in the comments. Your story could inspire someone else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Momentum Tales for more real stories that remind you, the journey is just as powerful as the destination.